the second session here, Vaibhav. The previous session we spoke about growth hacking, was absolutely mind-blowing inputs from your side. So in the second segment, we're going to be talking about personal branding, right? I mean, this is something that everyone and their uncle wants to do today, right? Create a personal brand. So how important is personal branding in today's world, and does it have a role to play in growth hacking?
Okay, how important is personal branding? Personal branding is as important as probably drinking water and eating food today if you want to grow. And I'll tell you the simplest reason why. You got to stand out. What do I mean? If you have, let's say you have a LinkedIn premium account, go check out the job role that you applied for. Even a random job at a random startup has more than 1,000 applications in it.
Yeah.
How the hell would you stand out? Now, the few things that were potentially helping you to stand out before. Having an IIM degree definitely was helping. Having a very strong pedigree definitely was helping you work with Google's, Facebooks of the world, right? Or having an IIT degree was helping. I want you guys to focus on one word, was. Because today, even that has become a normal, right? So in this day and age, how would you stand out? Personal branding is the only thing that will set you aside from others. And the best part about personal branding is it decentralizes everything in a way that it doesn't, if you have a strong personal brand, it doesn't matter what you have done in the past. It doesn't matter if you were a topper or a failure in the past. It doesn't matter the college that you've studied, because the impression is made based on what you are today. And that is the best kind of impression that you can make. Personal branding eliminates the barrier to entry. That is, before this, you were not getting your chance on the table. That in itself is very difficult. That's what personal branding eases out. Now, I'm just not talking about in terms of business, in terms of you working for a job. I'm talking about you as a founder as well. You as a CXO as well. You as a person who wants to, have respect or have regard for the word that he puts out. And that can happen when people respect you beyond of the work or beyond of the person that they know you as. And that's what personal branding can give you.
Got it. Now, this kind of personal branding, when we talk about the importance, is it important regardless, again, of what industry I work for? If I'm in a B2C business, where it's all about the product, it's all about the experience. If I'm in a B2B business, yes, personal branding does come into the picture because a lot of interaction with people, with again, similar-minded, like-minded people. Give me a flavor, about personal branding across, industries and, go-to-market types.
See, I'll tell you, it's very simple. Irrespective of the kind of category of business you are, people buy from people, not from brands, till they become so big that it overthrows the person, right? What do I mean by that? When you're launching something early, why do a few people are able to raise a round of investment while a few are not able to? Why is that? Why is Kunal Shah's seed round $30 million while someone who's super knowledgeable is struggling with raising $2 million? The answer is simple. Personal branding, because people put money by looking at you, your story, your capability more than that of idea. And it's the same when it comes to a consumer as well, right? In the initial days, when I don't have the taste of product, when I have two products out there, let's take even a simpler example, right? You have someone selling this duster, right? One guy is your friend. The other guy you don't know. It's the same duster that is being sold. Who would you buy from?
Yeah, that's my friend.
And that's what personal branding does, right? Like, because you know that person, you want to go ahead and buy from him. So irrespective of B2C and B2B, doesn't matter. Now you might be like, Vaibhav, at a point of time, it will outgrow the person, right? Of course it will, but you'll get you the kickstart, right? Yes. And even after you grow, it gives your audience a sense of belief that, because like, why are people, trusting on Elon Musk, right? Because of pure play personal branding, right? Like, he doesn't even need marketing today at the stage that he is in. He's able to sell out stuff without actually, using marketing dollars. And this is happening on a B2C. On a B2B level, it goes to a next level because it's all relationship. It's account-based marketing all throughout. And if the person behind it is someone that people know, it becomes super easy for the transaction to happen.
Got it. And what is the correlation that personal branding has with growth hacking? I mean, growth hacking is far broader. It's a very broad thing, whereas personal branding sounds like a laser focused, set of activities on
both
an
of them
individual.
are completely different. Growth hacking is a process to grow your, business,
Yes.
grow your, you could use growth hacking to grow a personal brand also, which I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's a process.
Yes.
Right. Personal branding is kind of a goal or a destination, right? Like you want to become a personal brand.
Yes.
That's an outcome that you're trying to get
Yes.
off. Right. So the both of them are different, absolutely different. Like they're two different tangents. So there's no comparison whatsoever between these two.
Got it. So then explain to us, how does one actually go about doing this personal branding on social platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, Insta? What would be the key steps in this process?
So I think first things first, when you're trying to build a personal brand, this is what I tell to most of the people is know your audience. That is, what kind of audience are you trying to attract? You're not a Shah Rukh Khan, right? That you want everybody under the hood. Personal branding doesn't, by the way, before I get there, let me clarify one more thing. Personal branding doesn't mean 100,000 followers.
Okay.
Personal branding means 2,000-3,000 people, or in fact, 500 people who believe in whatever you say. That's the impact that you're able to drive. That is what personal branding is. In a B2B level, 100 customers can make you $1 billion business.
Yeah.
Right? 100 customers paying you 10 million. Even $1 million makes it $100 million revenue. As a result, you're $1 billion company. Yeah. Right? Even 100 right people in your network who believe in you is a very strong personal brand. So size doesn't matter. It always grows, but it doesn't matter. Okay. You always start somewhere.
It's not about having 100,000 followers. It's about having those 100 or maybe 1,000 people.
100,000, 2,000 true fans.
Yeah, who are true fans. And how does one know that, today the whole focus of people who are trying to build their personal brand seems to be about having more and more followers. So people approach you on LinkedIn and you accept all LinkedIn requests, right? And you feel, okay, maybe somehow these guys will really follow me, right? So how does one distinguish this? That, okay, having 100,000 followers vis-a-vis having only 1,000, 5,000 people who really matter. How does one distinguish this?
There is, to be very frank, right? How would you distinguish in the sense by adopting a process, by getting the right people in your network?
Okay.
And the way you distinguish is like you gave an example, right? The way people think personal branding is 1,000 people send me an invite, I accept all. I have 1,000 new followers. Guess what? 950 of them are not even a part of your TG. They don't even matter to you. And those 950 people will actually affect your personal brand in a negative way. I'll tell you what I mean by that. So for you to get started, I'll go back to the old question, which will kind of answer this question right now. How do you go about it? When you go about building a personal brand, the first thing that you identify is who your audience is. Okay. Now, once you understand who your audience is, you look, where do they reside? A lot of people think personal branding is I need to be on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, email, LinkedIn. Nope. That's not how you start. You chill down and understand where your audience is. Let's say you are a CXO and your audience are senior managers and other CXOs and founders. They are the people. You don't expect a college intern to know you, right? It's of no value for you, right? And most of the college interns will send you a request, right? So you identify where your audience is. In your case, LinkedIn is an apparent platform, right? Like that's where your audience is. So you choose LinkedIn. That is step number one. Step number two, once you know who your TG is, you only add those people onto your network. Now, people can follow you, right? You can't stop them from following you, which is fine. But in terms of LinkedIn, let's say I'm going slightly into LinkedIn right now. But when it comes to LinkedIn, right, you have 30,000 connections that you can potentially have. Yes. You have to pick and choose all those 30,000 connections that you want. And the reason is the same across social media. And the reason is how an algorithm works. How do you build influence? By creating content. There's no other way around it. Unless you're a Kunal Shah or a Vijay Shekhar Sharma and you have an insane amount of this, so you don't have to put in any effort. I'm being frank, right?
Yeah.
In this case, also, you think about Larry Page, they have very bad personal brands. Nobody knows about the founders of Google, right? That is pure case of failure of personal branding. But they have their other own reasons. Let's not get into that. But in this case, right, As long as you know who your audience is, as long as you have the right people of audience, when you create content, they consume it. Now, let's say out of 100 people who sent you requests, 95 people were interns. You are a CXO or irrelevant. I won't say interns or irrelevant. You're a CXO. You're talking about how you should manage your, directors, or how you should tackle problems at a director level. You're creating that piece of content, which is a great piece of content for other CXOs and your TG. And you're creating content for them.
Yeah.
But an intern won't understand what you're talking about.
But will like it.
Probably not. He'll like it once, he'll like it twice.
Yeah.
He's not going to like it forever. There's something called as ad blindness that happens. Once the content is irrelevant, first time he'll like it because he'll like you. Yeah. Second time he'll like it, hoping that you'll notice him. And after all that, right, he's going to be like, okay, this person is not noticing me, so let's just skip. Right? Yeah. He's happy that you're connected with him. He's going to brag about it with his friends. That is great. But I'll tell you what will happen. A lot of these people will start ghosting you. That is, they won't engage with you. And the way algorithms work is the moment you create a piece of content, the algorithm pushes that content to maybe 1% of your audience.
Correct.
And gauges how many people are actually interacting with your content piece. If a lot of people are engaging with your content piece in the first 1.5 hours, then it will expand and show it to more people. The network effect kicks in. And as more people are liking and commenting, it is opening up their network to your content. As a result, the ripple effect happens. Now, if you have 90% who are irrelevant, so out of 100 people that LinkedIn is showing, 90 people are not even like understanding your content. So they're off. Out of that, there are 10 people who are probably the right TG. And if they like your content, that is when they are going to actually click on the like button and comment on the button. So cutting down your chances of reaching of your content reach by a drastic level. And this is pure play algorithm play, right? This is not even like some rocket science.
Yeah.
Hence, if you don't have the right audience, you're going to fail. Now comes to the content part. What content that you create, what you think is the right content is a lot of times not the right content.
Okay.
You think it's a great piece of content, right? But a lot of times people don't care about it. So what is the right way of going about it? Coming back to the process of experimentation again. You experiment categories of content and see what is getting highest amount of traction. This is considering you have your TG clear.
Okay.
Let's say if you're wrong TG and you all of a sudden made a post about your college days, then all of this irrelevant TG will engage with your content, and you'll see that, oh, if I write my college stories, people are liking it. And you being a CXO, you're writing cringe content. Right?
And you're led down a garden path because you're going to the wrong
you're going to the wrong audience. The other CXOs are like, who is this guy, man? Like, the respect level goes down, right? So you need to, it can go like two ways, just based on the kind of audience that you have. And then you can say, Vaibhav, but you asked me to repeat content which is working, right? That is working because you have the wrong kind of audience. So yeah, I mean,
so step one is identify the target audience. Step two, find out where they reside, and then step three, start building content around different, experiment with that content also.
Based on your TG.
Yeah.
Right. And look what is working and double down on it. That's pretty much it. And if you have the patience and the time, please try to own your contacts. What do I mean by that? Social media, you are always under bondage of an algorithm, right? You can only reach the people if the algorithm allows you or decides to. So I'm not a fan of that because you don't own your audience. So if you have the time, maybe a couple of interns maximum, try to convert your heavily engaged audiences into an email list. An email list you can own. And you can start with weekly newsletters, something that works phenomenally well. And that will create a different level of personal branding for you. But again, if you're not a CXO, I will recommend you to create YouTube videos, right? It depends on who you are. As long as you're picking the right channels, you're playing well. Considering this is for mostly like CXOs and also I'm talking around that space.
No, this is very interesting. Now, if I have to look at from a personal branding perspective, again, if I have gone and created content, right, and I created content for my target audience. Now, before I do that, obviously, let's suppose, a person like me, I've got like a lot of white hair, right? 25 years in the industry. So I probably have some sort of a network of my own. right?
Sure.
But someone who's starting out, okay, someone who's starting out maybe is pretty raw on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, right? And has just been doing work, but hasn't been on social media much and wants to start building this. So what's a good way to start building that audience? Is it that you actually do a segmentation of people on LinkedIn and then start reaching out to those people on LinkedIn? Even if, let's suppose there's a guy who's maybe a coach, right? And wants to reach out to people who could be potential coachees, right? And they could be junior
Potential
people.
coaches. Coaches. Okay.
I coach you, so you're a coachee. So if I want to get out and reach out to these people, do I actually reach out to these people on LinkedIn and then
For
start
sure.
my content?
For sure.
Okay.
Let me tell you one very weird example. Okay.
Mhm.
If you think about sadhus and babas in the country,
Mhm.
what are they selling on top of? Pure cult-like personal brand, right?
Yeah.
How do they get started? Are people coming to them automatically? Absolutely not. They go door to door to impress people. After that, 10 people start coming to the session. Looking at those 10 people, 20 more people come in. As a result, these days a few babas can fill the whole freaking stadium, right?
Correct.
You got to start somewhere. If you don't know who you are, you got to be humble, come down a step, get connected with people, start talking with them. And that happens via LinkedIn. And the beauty about LinkedIn is the LinkedIn search, right? Even a Facebook or Instagram doesn't allow you to do that. The way LinkedIn allows you to control your network, no other social network does. Because I can literally say, I want people who are CXOs only. If I have something like a sales navigator, I can literally say, I want people who are CXOs only with more than 10 years of experience in an industry like this. And it will tell me these are 10,000 people, out of which these 3,000 people are actually active on LinkedIn. That level of segmentation, LinkedIn is doing it for you. No other social network allows you to do that.
Fantastic.
Right? You start there, connect with those people, talk. Talk to 10 people, 15 people a day. Listen, when you are a very senior person, even if you're reaching out to a slightly junior person than what you think you are, people are just going to like you more.
Yeah, you become more reachable, more
reachable. And initially you need that, because today the person who you talk to, tomorrow when you create a piece of content, he's going to be like, he's my guy. I'm going to comment on that piece of content. It's that advocacy that you're building. It's that trust that you're building. It's that respect that you're building. It's that love that you're building. Once you have got to a stage, it's okay if you're not able to do that anymore.
Got it. Brilliant. This is very specific, very useful. What are the things that one should not be doing in personal branding? Anything that one should avoid, like the plague?
Here's a funny thing, right? I do everything that I should not be doing as well. But here's the thing, right? Like, just stay away from things like politics. Stay away from things like, how do I put it? Trying to pull people down, right? Because that's not how you want to position your brand as. See, whatever your personal beliefs are, it should stay, or you should be very, very upfront of talking about both the sides. You cannot be the person who is ruling something where people are divided. The moment you do that, hate will come up.
Got it.
Right? You're dividing your own followers, because let's say you say that, hey, like very simplistic example, but you say that my favorite cricketer is MS Dhoni. That's fine. But the moment you say my favorite cricketer is MS Dhoni and I hate Virat Kohli, that is what is not fine.
Got it.
You see the difference?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So political views, super hard opinions. Opinions are great, right? But harsh opinions are not. You need to draw a line somewhere. So a lot of times.
Yeah, sorry. Good. Yeah, go ahead.
So what I mean is, a lot of times when I want to put my opinion, right? I put my opinion. After I put my opinion, I respectfully ask, this is what I think. Please let me know what you think. And if somebody proves me wrong, doesn't matter who I am, doesn't matter who that guy is, I respectfully agree with him because I've been proven wrong. And that is respect that you get. And this has happened, right? When I've been proven wrong, because I have a personal brand, people are trying to cash on my audience. So they'll create a stinker post and they will expect me to fight on that. Most of the times, if I think I'm wrong, I would just say, man, you're absolutely right. I was wrong. Thank you so much. And people lose their shit. Pardon my French. I don't know if this word is allowed to you. People lose their mind saying, and how could you be
it's unexpected? It's unexpected.
Because it's unexpected. And you're being the bigger person here, right? So don't forget those traits.
in terms of the process that we spoke about, the identifying the target audience and those 3-4 steps that we spoke about, any mistakes that one should be careful of over there when you're following the process?
One of the mistakes that I just said, right, like is just adding up people. Understand the difference between your followers versus the right number of followers. 90% of people make that mistake, right? 2 is in terms of overcomplicating content, right? People don't have the time. You have to put it crisp. You cannot be a Shashi Tharoor while writing. You have to make it open for as many people as you can. And for that, you have to simplify things. People tend to overcomplicate to show off some other skills of theirs, which are not necessary. That is one more. 3 is in terms of frequency. People get aggressive. I want to build the best personal brand in the country. And they're posting 3 pieces of content a day. It's not right. It's not. I'll tell you why. The moment a person, it's like giving extra access, right? Imagine, would you go and watch a Shah Rukh Khan movie if he does 25 movies a year?
No.
You would only watch 2 movies, right? Keep it exclusive. So I make like 1 post every 2 days. That's pretty much it. And I have to do that because I have 300,000 followers. So I have to do that. But you can start with 2 posts a week or 1 post a week for that matter, but a very, very good post. Quality over quantity.
Very nice.
At least when you're trying to build a personal brand.
Very nice. This is again a very practical input, Vaibhav. So how much time does one need to give before getting results from personal branding? Because I've seen, just harking back to your previous point, that people tend to get desperate, right? I mean, they start putting all kinds of content. They share stories. They get into surveys. They do, I mean, anything to get a post out, on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. But, then they get desperate over a period of time. So what's a good time frame to build this personal brand? I mean, what's your experience there?
First of all, it's a journey. You never have the perfect personal brand. You're still building always, right? Look at progress, not the destination in this case. And give it time, like 3 to 4 months to start with, at least before you start expecting results, right? Yeah. I would rather say have a 6-month plan and stick to it. It's an experiment in the end. Consider personal branding to be an experiment, right? And that personal branding experiment is going on for 6 months or 3 months for that matter, right? And do it. Don't look at results. Don't look at the impact that is driving. Look at the impact 6 months later and measure it from what you were before. So this is what I tell a lot of my students, okay? A lot of people are like, sir, I created a post. I didn't get the traction. I said, you created 1 post. But few people got it because they were lucky. When 1,000 people are posting, of course, 20 people will succeed, even if they're first timers. But for that pattern to happen over and over again, you need to have the practice. So a lot of students, I tell this, okay? Because I don't want them to be demotivated by the results, because they're like, Vaibhav, I put in 3 hours into this piece of content. 5 people liked it. Like before this, nobody used to like it. 5 people liked it, right? So what I tell them is, sit over a couple of weekends, write 15 to 20 pieces of content. Schedule all of that content for 2 to 3 weeks. Log out of LinkedIn. Go back to LinkedIn 3 weeks later. The chances of 1 or 2 posts working out would be very, very high. And that 1-2 posts working out, the impact that they will see, the spike in profile views, spike in number of requests, that will convince you to run this show. Right? So this is what I tell, and it works brilliantly well. Essentially, what I'm saying is, don't give up. It's not easy. If it was so easy, everybody would have done it.
Brilliant. So, I see a lot of people today, right? I mean, personally, I'm also, in this kind of a business where I help small and mid-sized companies to grow their business. So, a lot of people approach me also, for my personal brand. We'll create a website, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll create connections for you on LinkedIn and so on and so forth, right? So I'm just trying to understand what's the role of an external agency, like you shared success stories on growth hacking. What's the role of an external agency in personal branding? And would you like to share any stories in this connection?
See, in terms of personal branding, our agency's job is to ease out the process. That's pretty much it. I'll tell you what easing out of process. Let's say you don't have the time to write content. That is okay. as long as you have the ideas on what you want to write.
Got
But
it.
if you expect the agency to come up with the idea and write the content, you're not building a personal brand. The agency was running, the agency is building your personal brand based on what he thinks you think.
Correct.
Right.
And that
So
won't work.
giving your perspective is very important. On the other side, right, agency handles stuff like coming up with 100 ideas. So right now, today, right, I work with a couple of interns, like not interns, consultants, I would say, who keep churning out a bunch of content ideas to me, saying, Vaibhav, these are all the ideas. Do you want to talk about some of them? Out of 10 topics, I pick 3, 4, and I give my perspective on it. That becomes a content base because it's me who's talking about it. The agency can help you with brainstorming. The agency can help you to position it right. The agency can help you to come up with ideas. The agency can help you to schedule the content. The agency can help you to track your content so that you don't have to do it. They tell you what is working, what is not working. But the agency cannot seed your thoughts. It's your thoughts. And that's what your personal branding is. Agency can edit your videos. Agency can send out an email for you, but you write that freaking email. Right? And a lot of people make this mistake, who hire an agency and allow them to do everything that they want. And they might get some kind of results to start with, but it will fail because it's not you. It's not you as a person that is talking.
Got it. I think these are absolutely wonderful insights on the topic of personal branding, Vaibhav. Once again, so many practical insights. There's no heavy jargon, but very useful inputs on the topic of personal branding. Thank you so much for your inputs.
Thank you.